Hello everyone, my name is Gergő Sándorfi. I am from Hungary, from the Budapest University of Technology and Economics, from the Faculty of Economic and Social Sciences, and from the Department of Management and Business Economics. I will talk about the definitions of innovation outside the business world. So there will be the topic is definitions, but I promise that I will try to make it interesting, and how to use innovation, the concept of innovation outside the business world. So if you have any questions regarding this topic, please let me know. Here is my email address. You can contact me on the email anytime and we can discuss it. So let's get started. My research field is technology management, and especially on how to implement the tools and techniques of technology management outside the business world. So not just for the for-profit sphere, just for-profit companies, but to any kind of organizations. If you can recall the tools and techniques of technology management, like the portfolio models of technology management, or the technology road mapping, TRM, these tools were created to support the companies, to support the business companies, to support the for-profit sphere. But it is obvious that not just the companies, but any kind of organization uses technologies and manages technologies and have to innovate. Just think of a police station, the tools, the techniques, the technologies that are being used there, or just think of an animal shelter. Of course, they are using technologies, and my research is on how to implement these tools to these kinds of organizations, to outside the business world, how to implement the tools and techniques of technology management outside the business world. We have some definitions to clarify. First, the innovation, that is the title of my presentation as well, to how to define innovation, what is innovation. But when I say outside the business world, I have to clarify what I mean on this outside the business world. There are a lot of notions, a lot of concepts. You see, non-profits, non-business, social enterprise, third sector, etc., etc. I have to clarify what I mean when I say outside the business world. What kind of organizations are included in this outside the business world concept? So let's start. In 1933, innovation introduced this concept, and according to him, innovation or development is a new combination of new or existing knowledge, resources, equipment, and other factors with the intent of the commercialization. If I just read this definition until the factors word, so innovation or development is new combination of new or existing knowledge, resources, equipment, and other factors. Until this definition refers to any kind of organizations, but Schumpeter added that with the intent of the commercialization, and with this commercialization word, he narrowed down the scope of this definition only for the business sector, only for the for-profit sphere. According to him, innovation could be the implementation of products that are new to consumers, implementation of production methods that are new to specific industries, opening of new markets, using new sources of raw materials, implementing new forms of competition that lead to structural changes in the specific industry. I have marked with this red color those words that are narrowing down the scope from any kind of organizations just to the for-profit sphere. So the products, production, markets, competition, these words are narrowing down the scope of innovation to just to the business sphere, the business sector. Moving on, later Drucker in 1985, he stated that innovation is a specific tool of entrepreneurs, the means by which they exploit change as an opportunity for a different business or a different service. Again, I marked with this red color those words that the business, we are talking about business here. It narrows down the scope of this definition, of this innovation definition, to the for-profit sphere, to the business sector. In the Oslo Manual, the OECD in 2005, they stated that there are 4 types of innovation: product innovation, process innovation, marketing innovation, and organizational innovation. Later, by 2018, they reduced it only for 2 types of innovation: product innovation and business process innovation. So from this product, process, marketing, and organizational innovation, they reduced it only for product innovation and business process innovation. And both of them, so the product and the business process, both of them are referring only for the business sector. Hiswich and Kearney in 2013, they stated that innovation is a process that begins with a new idea and concludes with a market introduction. Again, they are talking about market introduction. Schumpeter called it commercialization. They call it market introduction. It's mostly the same. They're using different words, but again, it narrows down the scope for the business sphere. But there is hope for us. Rogers and Shoemaker in 1971, they stated that the innovation is an idea, practice, or object that is perceived as new by an individual or other unit of adoption. In this definition, they do not narrow down the scope for the business sphere. This definition refers to any kind of organization, not just for the business, but to any kind of organization, included the business sector, but beside the business sector, the non-profits and the governmental organizations as well. So this definition refers to any kind of organizations. This was the qualitative type of the innovations, the definitions of innovations. I rolled out this research last year for the definitions of technology management. The same dichotomy is there in the definitions of technology management. There are broad types of definitions that are referring to any kinds of organizations, and narrow ones that are narrowing down the scope only for the business sphere. So not just in the definitions of innovation, but in the definitions of technology management, there are this duality. In our courses, in our BSc and MBA courses in our university, we use a broad definition of technology management. We say that technology management or management of technology is a cross-functional activity that addresses how to develop, adapt, and exploit technological capabilities in order to accomplish the goals of an organization. So we use the word organization that means any kind of organizations, including for-profit, non-profit, and governmental as well. But the same duality, the same dichotomy is there in the definitions of technology management and the definitions of innovation as well. Then I rolled out a quantitative research. I examined how many articles uses the notion of innovation in the broad sense and in the narrow sense. I rolled out this research in the Scopus database. My keywords were innovation and the definitions, and I narrowed down the search for the articles. And 329 articles were the result. In this, relevant were 195. So only 195 articles were relevant. And in the broad sense, so in that sense that refers to any kind of organizations, only 62 articles used the concept, the notion of innovation in the broad sense, which is circa 1/3 of it. And in a narrow sense, so narrow down the scope only for the for-profit sphere, more than 2/3 of them, so 133 articles and authors used the scope, used the definition of innovation in the narrow sense. The other concept that I promised that we have to clarify is the non-profit, or what do I mean when I say outside the business world? Of course, it's easy to state that it means non-profits and governmental organizations, but what do we consider to be non-profit? There are a lot of notions, a lot of concepts around this non-profit word. I stated some definitions here. So non-profit, the primary goal of the operation is not the profit-making. Social enterprise, these are hybrid organizations what are trying to balance between social value creation and organizational sustainability. There, this were the third sector. This is composed by private organizations of public interests involving entities that are not part of the government and neither of the market. So what should we say here? What is non-profit? What is outside the business world? And I made this choice that just call them non-business. So there is the business sphere, the for-profit sphere. There is the non-business sphere that includes these non-profits and the governmental organizations as well. Since I try to emphasize that any kind of organizations should use the accumulated knowledge of technology management and the innovations and the diffusion of innovations, they should study this and they should use this knowledge. Then I really do not want to narrow down the scope of to any kind of organizations. I would like to include as many type of organizations as I can. This is why I stress this non-profit, non-business word. And just let me cite an example outside the business world. There was a charitable organization in Hungary that I am in contact with, and just think of a classic charitable organization. So if you have any object that you would like to donate, so clothes, kitchen devices, anything that you do not use, but you would like to donate it to the needy people, you donate it to this organization, and they give it to the poor people, to the needy people, to the socially disadvantaged people. So just think of this charitable organization, and they had a specific warehouse storaging process. In the warehouse, there was the donations, the stuff, the objects were just put on the shelves, and nobody knew what do they have and where is it in the warehouse. There was just boxes and bags, and they just put it on the shelves, and the people in the warehouse who work in the warehouse, they just knew where they are. They would like to change this process, and there was the need to know the stock of each objects. So what do they have and where it is? And the interesting stuff, or it may be not so interesting, but I would like to show it, that the usual steps of this new process implementation, where they bought a barcode scanner and a barcode printer, and they put this barcode label in every box, and they put it on the specific place on the shelves. So they bought this barcode printer, and they implemented this new system. But the steps that they were following during this implementation were the usual steps of this problem. That if this problem would have been in a for-profit company, the steps would have been the same. So first, the warehouse operator identified this problem, that they have this problem. There is a big mess in these objects. Then the warehouse operator the operative director and the executive officer, they specified the available budget for this problem. They went through the possible solutions that are available on the market, made a decision, and implemented the system. So these steps, let's call it this, they innovated this warehouse storaging process. The steps of this were as usual as it can be in the for-profit sphere as well. So I would like to illustrate that not just the for-profit companies use these technologies and have to develop their technological capabilities and have to innovate, but also it is obvious that the non-profits as well have to use technologies and have to innovate. And in order, if we would like to make them understand that they should study this accumulated knowledge of this field. There are several articles. This is a very, very big field of technology management and innovation. If we suggest them to study this, to know this, to learn how to do this well, how to do this effectively and efficiently, then I say that the first step of this process is just not to rule them out of the definitions. So make them feel that at least these definitions are referring to them as well, not just for the for-profits. So please keep it in mind that the non-business, that every kind of organization uses technologies, should use this knowledge of the field, should study this knowledge in the field, and they should learn how to innovate, how to do this innovation process effectively and efficiently. And I am very, very thankful for your kind attention. If you have any questions, please contact me on this email address that you can see here on this slide as well. Thank you very much. Goodbye.